Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting edition of Fig Life. My name is Richie, the real deal heel Reardon, and I'm joined as always by my broadcast partner, my partner in crime, my best bud, Johnny Podcast and John Wanglin. How you doing, man?
Doing good here, man. We've had a great round of Fig Life shows tonight. We've been doing. I love it so much. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's 4 a.m. right now as we're taping it here in New York, and I'm loving every minute. I could be going all night doing this if I didn't have to sleep, I wouldn't, because that's how much I love the Fig World Order, man, and doing some Fig Life with you and doing it with everybody here. And we got a fun ass show planned tonight, going back to one of our favorite times, one of our favorite promotions, and that is World Championship Wrestling, and some New Japan in there too, because New Japan was a big part of WCW too. So we've hope you enjoyed the themed episodes and the themed stuff, and we're gonna have another great show tonight, my friend. And just want to remind everybody, please subscribe now if you haven't already done so. Hit that button. That way you get notified every time we get a new show. We're dropping 3 new episodes a week for you guys. And comment it up on there, because every time you get a comment, you're going to be added right into the next drawing that's going to be on the week of WrestleMania. So you got to comment up. The more comments you make and on the videos on that we put out each week, the more entries that you get. But
Yeah,
that's
just ask our viewer Van Daminator. He's going to be receiving his figure. Should be any day now. I
yep.
sent it out to him. He was the winner of the 500 subscriber. He got the R-Truth signed figure. It was a Marvel TNA edition, so he'll be on the show very soon doing a review with us, and you guys could be the next winner. So
Yeah.
comment it up.
We got the 1,000 subscriber giveaway we're going to be having up here over the next week too, that we're going to be doing. So literally, we're going to be giving a lot of great stuff away for all the great listeners and watchers of this show. So please make sure to comment up. We want to give you good stuff. We want to thank you guys for what you do. But that's the business side of it. This isn't a business. This is fun, man. Let's have some fun, because that's what we're here to do. And let's get right into some WCW. You got some rare scores to lead us and kick us off here, man. What do you got, buddy?
So this is going to be the New Japan side of this episode, and those
Woo.
of you that listen to the podcasting side of our operation, I am the New Japan guy. I love New Japan wrestling, been a follower of it since the 90s. Been fans of the likes of Jushin Thunder Liger, Great Muta, Inoki, Tanahashi, Switchblade, Kenny Omega, all those guys. I am a huge fan of the Bullet Club. Just love New Japan Wrestling. I think it's another side of things. They do the simulated combat a lot better than most Americanized wrestling. That's why I enjoy it. I enjoy a great war, and they have very long matches, so it
Mhm.
definitely suits my taste of wrestling. And I'm an open book, man. I love all kinds of wrestling, but that is definitely a guilty pleasure of mine.
And why does
So
New Japan fit into WCW? Because maybe not everybody knows why New
yeah,
Japan and WCW fit together. So I think it's important. Maybe some of the people might not know that. So how does that fit into the WCW theme?
so Sonny Ono was a great buddy of Mr. Eric Bischoff, and basically what
Childhood
he did
friends.
was childhood friends. And what he did was he brokered a deal because he had a relationship with a promoter over there in New Japan. And basically what happened was they brokered a deal where they would share talent, and it was a very groundbreaking thing because that had never been done in wrestling before. So they would share their talent. It would get them global exposure because they would get well known over in Japan, and they would get exposure over in the U.S. and they would get to transition their product back and forth and get a really great partnership going. And a lot of their talent got very well known in both organizations. So they were able, and the talent was happy because they had more places to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then WCW, it was like their developmental deal where, a lot of young guys like Brian Adams, Scott Flash Norton, those kind of guys, they went out there and cut their teeth and became stars. And then they would come back and get, their star power even more brighter. So it was a great partnership for WCW in a lot of ways in the 90s.
Yep, it was, man. And they had one of the most landmark shows of all time for wrestling. Actually, a lot of people forget. And I believe it was in '94 when they went out and New Japan and WCW put on a show in North Korea, in front of the whole basically country out there. They said that there was about 90,000 people that watched it.
Yeah.
And it was a New Japan and WCW collaboration. I
Yep.
believe the main event had Antonio Inoki in it from New Japan, who is a legendary figure in his own. He is like the Hulk Hogan of Japanese wrestling. You
Right.
know, Ric Flair, one of the holy grails, and he main evented that show over there with them, and was just
Still
another
wrestling
landmark.
to this day, buddy.
Yeah, and he's in his 70s now. It's crazy,
And
and he's
he's
still a
the
great dude.
toughest son of a bitch too out there too.
Oh,
I mean, this
you ain't
guy is
lying.
just he's a nut job. He's got a crazy ass haircut. I mean, the guy is just a fucking mainstay in New Japan wrestling. So,
Yeah, people
um
just forget about the New Japan Initiative. This brought the likes of Jushin Thunder Liger over to this country and made him a household name up into this day. So,
a lot of your
it,
favorite wrestlers in WWE now
yep,
were the stars of New Japan not too
you ain't
long
lying.
ago. AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Finn Balor. I mean, the list goes on and on. Then you got, in the AEW side of things, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes. I mean, just the list goes on and on. Hangman Adam Page even was featured over there. So,
Yep.
just a lot of great guys, and New Japan is a great organization. So I recommend anybody to watch it. But that being said, I got two great figures to show you,
All right.
and the first one is going to be a person who was in the NWO, and he was a great legendary character by himself as well. I can't really read you the stats like I normally do because, of course, they're in Japanese, but it is the Great Muta.
Ooh, Mr.
This
Muda.
This is such a cool figure. I
That
got
is
it from a
awesome.
guy. Yeah, it's incredible. I got it from a guy that has a great eBay store, and on one of the next episodes, I'll go ahead and tout it out there because he's just a upstanding guy in the figure community. He has done me right. I just picked up some AWA stuff, so I'm gonna start getting into that. I got the very rare wooden ring from him, so
Oh, no
we'll be
shit.
reviewing that. Yeah, I picked it up, so it's gonna be really cool to review there. This figure though is awesome. These weren't known for their articulation, so they were basically statues that you would pose, and I like that in a lot of ways because when you take these out of the package, you look at them, and posing them is a very important thing. And this one just nails the likeness of this character down so much. You got the tape on the fingers, where of course he would keep his green mist hidden away and would bite into that motherfucker and just spray his opponents with. They nailed the face paint down very well. Just love this figure, man. Great head scan, great attire, fits Muta perfectly. One of my favorites of all time. Vampiro definitely mapped out his career after this guy. So legendary character, one of the greatest of all time, and a
Dude, that's
great
a
figure.
beaut. That's a beaut, man.
You
Love it.
flip it over, of course, it's all in Japanese writing. You can't really tell
You
other
can't
than,
translate that for us?
oh no, I'm sorry, man, can't do it.
Fucking love it, man.
Hell yeah.
You got another New Japan figure too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. This one is a beaut. It's a very rare one. From what I hear, there was only 500 made. I can't confirm that because, of course, it's in Japanese. But, this is the other character that feuded with the likes of Brian Pillman and many others. Um, this is a very awkward figure because it's very dark and you can't really tell, on the video, I'm sure you can't really tell what it is. So we'll go ahead and get the picture of the regular one as well as you can see the differences. But they had a bunch of different variations of Jushin Thunder Liger. This
Wow.
is a cool one. It's a black stone looking statue. He's in his fight position. He's got his mask and everything there. Again, no articulation, just a statue. But they nailed the likeness of the character down very well. I know you can't really tell the details in there, but they got the iconic mask. The outfit's all, there and great. It's just, pure black. And you hold it up to the light, you can actually see through it a little bit. But they had different variations that were rare. They had like a teal one, they had a red see-through, and then they had the regular attire as well. And I think there was even a gold one.
What a
But this was
bizarre. That's pretty bizarre.
Yeah, it is, man. This is the black version of it, and I love the damn figure
Yeah,
though. I
that's
think it's
cool
great.
though.
Yeah,
That's unique.
very unique, and
I love the horns there where they show them on the side too. Very good detail on that.
absolutely. And Jushin Thunder Liger, man, one of the most legendary characters of all time across the globe. So I'm definitely glad to have this in my collection.
Dude, that's gorgeous, man.
Yep, there he is right there.
Oh, you gotta love him. You think he'll ever get back in the ring again?
I think there's a chance for one more match always for a wrestler, so he still has it, man. He could definitely do it. Look at
Yeah, no,
Inoki.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Well, that's a good thing for the New Japan line. Well, I'm gonna go back here. Go figure. I got another good classic here, but I couldn't pass this one up, man. This was just another steal that I got for a package. I talked about it on an earlier episode. I got with Bastion Booger, and then there's another one that I haven't unveiled here yet that I got. I've wanted this one since I started seeing the WWE Classic line, and this was one you got me hooked on in the beginning when I saw yours. I loved it. You can't find it a lot. It's out there. Don't get me wrong. It's out there, but you don't see a ton of them out there. This was a tag team in WCW that I think they dropped the ball on by disbanding it so fast. And they had a really good run for about a year and a half, maybe. And for whatever reason, they disbanded them. And it was mind-boggling to me at the time because they were killing it over there.
Were they ever tag team champions?
Yeah, they had a run, I think once or twice with it. So, yeah, I believe they did. I'm pretty positive that they had a run with the tag team titles over there. We had one or two? Yeah, they had one. I think they won it from the first time. I think they won it from Steamboat and Dustin Rhodes when they won it, if I remember correctly.
What a rub to get from those guys.
Yeah, and people just forget about these guys and what they did. Partly because one of them died very early, but we've had a lot of his stuff on the show before. And the other one's one of the greatest of all time. And that was the HollyWood Blondes. And that is Brian Pillman and the one and only Steve Austin right here. This is a beaut right here in all shapes and sizes. Just love this one. It comes with the ladder in it. And once again, it doesn't have the soft goods, which I would have loved to have had them have the soft goods on this, but they don't. Still, nonetheless, this is a beautiful one. There's a big hole in my wall here in my collection from where I took it down right behind me. This is one I've been just dying to get for a long time, and I just couldn't pass up the deal I got on this and a few others. It was amazing. This one is fantastic, and this is the only stunning Steve Austin version I think I've ever seen. Maybe I'm wrong and there's more. Probably some of the older ones, but they never really do this rendition out on anything. I've never seen the HollyWood Blondes on anything else. And
no, they've never made another edition of this, and that's why this was so iconic. And a lot of people don't know about Steve Austin. Him and Brian Pillman were very close, and a lot of the reason why he chose the attire of the black vest and the black trunks was he wanted to keep that rendition of that tag team kind of featured in his later years, and that's why he had the vest and the trunks. He also kept, a lot of times you'll see him, and I guarantee you to this day, you'll see that Brian Pillman recommended that they wear some silver chains. And Steve Austin still wears the same silver chain that they got together around his neck. So
pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, just spoke of their friendship that they had together.
And people forget Steve was a U.S. champion over there, television champion, tag team champion. He held every belt but the big belt for whatever reason and never gave it to him. He was one of the biggest heels in WCW for a long time as a very high upper mid-card talent, but was one of the guys that never really got to the huge level to get over there. He actually had hair, and he had good hair at this point. Pillman, of course, good-looking guy, always had his hair, long hair too. And then Steve was known as Stunning Steve Austin at the time. And just to read the back here, he debuted in 1976 for Austin. 255 pounds, 6'2". Finishing move was the stun gun, which was a suplex, basically, right where he'd use the ropes there and to kind of lift the opponent's legs and to snap them down. And then Pillman was debuting in 1986, 228 pounds, 5'10", and his finishing move was called the Air Pillman. And these guys were just a fantastic tag team. And this was the first time Pillman had ever been a heel. So this was his first heel run that he had ever had in the business, and he did phenomenal at it. He was a white meat baby face for so long, and these two just had the it factor together. It's a great line in this. This has one I've talked about for a while that I've wanted, and it's the Strike Force version of Tito Santana and Rick Martel. It's on my hit list of things to get here soon. Love this classic set that they have for them. And then another one I'd love to get because I'm big into the tag team stuff is the Midnight Express here. And this is the rendition of Beautiful Bobby Eaton along with Stan Lane, one of the versions of the Midnight Express, because they had Dennis Condrey. And
the most important version.
Yeah, this was the best version of it. Some people might debate differently and say Dennis Condrey was better, but I thought Stan Lane fit phenomenal. But Bobby Eaton was one of the greatest workers of all time, one of
Yeah.
the most underrated workers of all time. Somebody people loved working with. Everybody would say it was like a night off with him. And I really want to pick this Midnight Express one up soon. But it once again, it goes for a pretty hefty price tag for that one, along with another one I want, which is the Rock and Roll Express. But just things to add to the list of ones that I want to get, my friend.
Well, that's definitely probably one of the best two packs of all of them. And next to the Rockers, I would say would probably be the next best one. And then you got a few others in there that are really good as well. But man, the Hollywood Blondes, legendary tag team, and wish they would have got a longer run, but they didn't, man, for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Eric
it worked
Bischoff
out
wasn't
well for both of
confident.
them, though.
Yeah, it did.
Maybe
Eric
not for
Bischoff
Brian.
wasn't confident, and Steve Austin said he'd never draw a dime, and look where he is now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Pillman had a nice career, but but got shortened by injuries, motorcycle accident, and then unfortunately, terribly, happened that he passed away. So, it worked out great for Steve and Brian, maybe not so much afterwards, but still, he had a good little run there at the end of it, there as best as he could in the spot that he was in. Great performers, two of my all-time faves, loved them. And I know you got one of my all-time favorites to close it out here tonight. What do you got, man?
Well, I got two more things to show you. I got Funko of the Week, which we'll feature at the end here, but this next one was a WCW talent. This is his WWE form, of course. I'm pulling out a deluxe classic superstars. I know John's usually the guy that does that, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull one out myself. And this is a great version, probably one of my favorite versions of this character of all time. And I'll go ahead and show you it now. It's a signed version of Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh yeah.
They nailed the head scan down. I wish the mouth was closed. That's the only problem I have with it.
Yeah.
But the glasses are just perfect. I wish they would have gave him a leather jacket, but that's all right. This is, an in-ring attire, so I'm cool with it. Definitely beautiful. They got the pink sparkles all over it. The skull logo in there on the attire and the singlet. And they nailed his trunks on his tights, the logos and stuff like that on it very well.
Is that the Winged
Uh,
Eagle belt?
it is the Winged Eagle belt, and the cool thing about the deluxe ones versus the regular is they add the color to it, and it looks just 100 times better with the detail and stuff. These are known for their super articulation. These, had so much more articulation than the regular classics. So, figure photography was a lot better with these ones. Um, the box color and stuff is a lot different as well. It's like an orange
Mm-hmm.
color or like a bronze color. You can get a good look of it on that side better. But this figure is definitely a great one. I love the shades. I wish every Bret Hart would come with that. In
Yeah.
his WCW days, he was known for those pink shades in WWE, but he never wore them in WCW. It's kind of weird to me. I think that would have been a great addition over
Yeah, he
there.
had the circle sunglasses, right?
Right, and that was a really weird thing to me that kind of just bugged me about his WCW run. This was the Series 2 of the Deluxe Superstars, and I have pretty much all of them except for British Bulldog and Kurt Hennig. And the Kurt Hennig is in his yellow attire, but you have the Outsiders Kevin Nash in his red and black Outsider attire, and you have Shawn Michaels in his Texas flag tights. Got that figure. It's a great one as well, and it's signed beautifully. And then, of course, you had this Bret Hart here. He debuted in 1976, 234 pounds at 6 foot. His finishing move was the sharpshooter. His titles were the WWE champion. He was a King of the Ring, Intercontinental champion, World Tag Team champion. He carried them all, man. He was a WCW champion, United States champion, Tag Team champion over there in WCW as well. Just a legend, Hall of Famer, and one of the greatest of all time. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be, Mr. Bret the Hitman Hart.
Gotta love Brett, man. Did you like this week when he called out Hogan again? Did you see that clip?
I didn't get to see the clip.
He was on an interview on like a Instagram live question to interview thing, so the fans were able to ask him questions. And then, but he still hates Hulk Hogan, man. and they said, "What do you think about Hulk Hogan?" And he called him a greedy, backstabbing son of a bitch on it.
He's pretty justified in a lot of the stuff he says
He
about
is.
Hogan, in my
He
opinion.
is, man. Hogan did him wrong pretty bad, and
I
Brett
mean, he
does
was the
not forget.
hottest thing going in
Yeah,
wrestling at the time, and Hogan would just not work with him for whatever reason.
yeah, and Brett never forgets that, man, and it's funny to see
John,
sometimes.
that's why I was so surprised. I mean, I'm not trying to make this a long dragged out thing, but Jesus Christ, man, in his WCW run, he put Hogan over like $1 million, and I
Yeah,
think it was what the company wanted, but I was very surprised in that and how he felt with Hogan.
yeah. Brett's a little bit of a enigma, man. I mean, honestly, I love Bret. He's one of my all-time favorites. He is 100%. I was a huge Bret Hart fan. The best word to describe Bret Hart is a megalomaniac, to be honest with you. Bret is in love with his own ego a lot, man, and his own perception of himself. And he values himself very high, and rightfully so, with a lot of things. And he's a very sensitive guy. And it's been kind of his MO with, life after wrestling for him, or even when he was in wrestling, is that he doesn't let things go, man. And he never let one thing go that Hogan did ever go with him, and it just kind of kept going from there. And what's funny is Hogan's never buried him publicly at all,
Right.
and in fact, he put him over in a lot of ways. So, you know, you can make your determination out there for yourself. Who was right or wrong in it, but Brett just doesn't stop, man. I still love him to death. One of my all-time faves, but it saddens me to see sometimes with him because I wish he would just move on and kind of grow up on some of that stuff, but I don't think he's ever going to.
Yeah, I think it would have benefited his health a lot better in the long run, but
Yep.
this next figure that I'll close the show out with is a
This
is a
guy's the
Funko.
one responsible for his health ending his career right here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be the Funko of the week. And he, like John said, was responsible for the kick heard round the world, so to speak.
Oh,
And it's a shame, man, because
it is.
Brett could have probably went a very long time had that not happened.
He's
But he
never
still to
forgiven
this
him
day,
for it.
yeah, he still to this day holds a grudge with this person as well. And that, of course, is the signed number 36, I believe, in the Funko series for WWE, Bill Goldberg.
Do, 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 do,
Oh,
do,
I
do,
was gonna
do.
go with it.
Yeah, I could have kept going.
We got this signed in yellow. It was great. This attire here is his WWE attire, of course. He's got the iconic shoulder tattoo there of the tribal design that he has on his shoulder. Just a great figure, man. I love the likeness that they nailed. Great pose that they put in there. And that yellow signature looks kind of gold. So definitely, kind of matches his gimmick. But you had 34 was Finn Balor after him. 35 Mick Foley. I have both of those signed. 36 Bill Goldberg and AJ Styles for number 37, which I still have yet to pick up. So I got to get that.
That's a nice
But
note, man.
great Funko Pop. That's why I nailed it as the Funko Pop of the week. And also, I got to be honest, it tied in with the Bret Hart. So
It did. We try to tie just about everything into the episode there to make it perfect, and I think we do a good job at putting the themes in perfectly. That was a great ending to it though there for the man that ended unfortunately the career of Mr. Bret Hart. So another great episode, man. Really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Always a blast doing it with you here, Richie, and we always love having you guys come. Hopefully you subscribe to the show by now. If you haven't done so, please do now. Hit that subscription button, that bell, that notification, so that way every time you get a new show, it comes right out and sends it. Drop your comments on there. Don't forget, every comment you make on any video is going to get you added into our drawing for our giveaway WrestleMania week. Even if there's not a WrestleMania, we're still going to do a giveaway. We're going to give probably a couple things out that week at least. So enter it in. It just ups your ante to get something cool, man. So we appreciate all you guys do. Listen to the podcast. Check them out. Wrestling Anonymous, Wrestling with Reality. That's what she said. Wrestling podcast. Links and everything's all in here. You can see them for yourself. Go find them. Check them out. And social media and ways to reach us, rcpodnetwork.com, all in here as well. You'll see the pictures of it. Check it out, man. Richie, you got anything you want to close this out with, my friend?
as always, I just want to say thank you to the listeners. Make sure you turn that bell on for all the notifications so you never
Ding,
miss an
ding.
episode. and that way you get to see our lovely faces talking about wrestling figures. We want you guys to be more interactive. If you want to send pictures of your collections to be featured at the end of the episode, we would love to do so. Just send it over to rickybobby112@gmail.com, and we'll make sure to get that added to the end there. I think it'd be a great touch for the video. So leave some comments, guys. Let's get interactive, have some great discussions. If you ever want to reach me, go ahead and get me over there at III_Reardon. That's REARDON. And, I'm always down to talk figs or life or whatever, man. So y'all are always great to us. We appreciate all the support. And, as the great Tony Schiavone says, that John always says at the end of the episode, we are out of time. And we want to just say thank you to the Fig World Order. And of course, when you're the FWO, what are you, John?
You are with us for life.
See you guys later.